I saw when I got there that the vandalism had already been covered up. There's still some broken glass and all that, but there are videos that did come out in the morning, but saying Khalistan was on it, and you saw a lot of Khalistan graffiti. My first interaction with the man who seems to be threatening me in a sweater, the sweater, I think it says he's a member of the Cal Force on it. So that man we're talking about, he came up and on the city said, basically 5 minutes, get out of here, or else I will, F you up, right? Temples and Gurdwaras being vandalized it's very disturbing behavior, and the lack of outrage in Canada, because Canadians, for the most part, it's not malice, it's they just at some level understand, and this stuff has just been happening so long.
Is the attack on the Hindu temple in Surrey. We have seen the visuals. You visited the place. Can you talk to us about it? What did you see, and your thoughts regarding that?
Yeah, so what did I see is I saw when I got there that the vandalism had already been covered up. There's still some broken glass and all that, but there are videos that did come out in the morning, but saying Khalistan was on it, and you saw a lot of Khalistan graffiti. So I went into the Mandir and I spoke with some of the devotees and some of the management who I don't quite understand why they decided to just remove the graffiti before the police came and before they've spoken to police. So I don't quite understand that move. They did claim that they also, the vandals, they have security footage that they also stole a security camera that came out. But a lot of the devotees were rather upset and were frustrated that they felt like no one was speaking out, and vandalism like this keeps happening. I want to point out it wasn't the only temple vandalized last night. There was also a Gurdwara in Vancouver that was vandalized by Khalistanis, or people who clearly were parroting the Khalistani rhetoric.
You also faced some threats. You were there at the location and you interacted with the Khalistanis, and they issued threats to you, as we have seen in the video. What were the threats? What did they tell you? Can you tell me?
Yeah, I mean, the video is clear how it started. I mean, my first interaction with the man who seems to be threatening me in a sweater, the sweater, I think it says he's a member of the Cal Force on it. So that man we're talking about, he came up and on the city said, basically 5 minutes, get out of here, or else I will, F you up, right? A threat. Then I said again, as you can clearly see in the video, we're not filming anything. We're just walking down the parade. He comes up and then he does make a promise to beat me up or whatever it is. And they got violent, not quite violent. They got a little bit aggressive, and they started, being very boisterous and loud and thuggish. So yes, that was the members that were there. I find it interesting that the same group tagged the Gurdwara last night. So I went to the Gurdwara in Vancouver, and on the Gurdwara were F India and Kill Modi and Khalistan, Zindabad and all that stuff. But also a cow was tagged onto the Gurdwara as well. It's almost it's very frustrating in a lot of ways. And I kind of understand the frustration of a lot of people and some of the comedy in it, that these are the people complaining about anti-Sikh hate in Canada and how anti-Sikh hate is out of control. Yet the only time a Gurdwara in my Canada lifetime has ever been openly vandalized and attacked is by self-professed Khalistanis who are out there complaining about the rise in Sikh hate. So they're the only ones to attack a Gurdwara so far, it's a very disturbing situation. This is Easter weekend in Canada. It's generally seen as a time of redemption and peace and love, and it's Easter. It's got a bunny and chocolate. It's a good time usually. for us in Canada. But stuff like this happening over Easter weekend, temples and Gurdwaras being vandalized it's very disturbing behavior, and the lack of outrage in Canada, because Canadians, for the most part, it's not malice, it's they just at some level understand, and this stuff has just been happening so long that it doesn't really shock anyone when you say that anymore, and that's sad.
Mm-hmm. Despite the new government and the assurances, but nothing has been done on Khalistan, because these kind of incidents have been coming up, and now we have two instances which is in present, and you were there. No action has been taken against the Khalistanis up till now. Regime could be any, but we could not see any action against them.
Yeah, and we're in the middle of an election, and no government has chosen to target Khalistan as a bad thing. All of them are pandering in some way, shape, or another or if not pandering, they're afraid or they're under the false impression that Khalistan represents the majority of the community when it doesn't. And I think there's some bad actors really trying to tie the Khalistan and Sikh thing together. I think that's the dishonest thing. I think if anything you see this weekend, it's Khalistanis are the only ones who attack the Gurdwaras, and that needs to be shown that there's a reason why there's Sikh people who went to, and it's the Gurdwara is known as the modern Gurdwara that doesn't allow all the stuff that you see, the violence glorification. This Gurdwara is notorious for not allowing any sort of divisive. They don't preach hate against Hindus or Sikhs or take a thing. It's a neutral place. It's known as a safe, neutral place of worship that doesn't get involved in all of this. And that's why it was chosen to send a message that neutrality is dangerous. And that type of stuff used to be so unheard of in Canada. But yeah, diaspora politics playing out in the Canadian sphere in a way that no one really understands. Yeah, that's kind of par for the course.
Talking about Buddhist action, is there any action taken against the Khalistanis regarding the vandalism act which they have done?
I haven't spoken to police. I've been busy in sort of my own right. It's also a few days in, so we'll see. I would see, and maybe the Ross Gurdwara would file some charges, we'll see. We'll see. I'm sure there's an investigation. I'm sure someone's being put on this. It's not like these temples going to get attacked with impunity. There's an investigation, and the police will look into it, and they're very competent. They've never caught anyone, but they're trying very, very hard. So I believe in them. We still have that to go through. But have the police are of course, I assume, doing something, looking into it. But if are the police going to successfully thwart a Khalistani vandalism in Canada? What are my odds on Polymarket? And if it's, around 50-50, I'm taking out a mortgage and becoming a millionaire.
Last question would be related. Do you expect, because the new government will soon join, and do you expect new government to take action against the Khalistanis?
No, it can't get any worse though, right? So, we're at maximum, full capitulation, full speed ahead. I assume we can't go maximum speed forever, so we might slow down. But a Canadian politician, political party doing something substantial on a cultural realm issue, the moon could orbit the other way theoretically, but I don't think it will.